and through you to the Ghanaian people. There have been a lot of noise, speculations, conjectures, many fabrications on all the media network for a period more than 5 years since this case started. I have been provoked to the extreme, maligned, but as a Ghanaian citizen, I've managed, by the grace of God, to keep my cool and allow the judicial system to work. I have respected the judicial system and have always reaffirmed my belief that that is where every dispute, whatsoever its nature, political, otherwise, that's where it will be settled as a civilized people in a great nation like ours, Ghana. I've also tried my best to, by my attitude and conduct, make sure that I encourage Ghanaians and other business people not to be afraid when the so-called almighty government offend them and try to crush them. The fundamental rights of every Ghanaian is paramount and enshrined in the Constitution. But that right ends when somebody's nose also begins. This case that we are talking about, the nature it was handled by the government, the arrest and all that went around with it, sent a certain signal and message to the ordinary Ghanaian as though I have done something untoward, as though I have done something criminally. And the media, unfortunately, had done little of a research. If they had done it, either they are hiding it or do not appreciate or understand the issues properly. And therefore, I see some communication problem onto the Ghanaian people where misconceptions have become facts in the minds and hearts of others. A hard-working one and a businessman. I have loved everybody that come away and have respected the political view of everybody. I have related with people irrespective of their political lineage. And this particular issue has made me to stay calm within my belief and respect the court. I've called you here because of a pertinent issue which needs to be addressed. And I'm going to talk on 3 thematic areas. I'm going to, number 1, talk about the idea that I fraudulently acquired the money. The second issue is the most pressing issue right now, which is the topical one, that I acquired money and shared with people. And then last but not the least, I want to also state clearly that the Supreme Court has assumed a position of actually persecuting me, not prosecuting. And I'll give you proofs of that. We are all Ghanaians, and I believe that everyone is enshrined by law and right to defend every word, article of the Constitution, to the extent that the Constitution prescribes even defending it with our lives. And when it comes to the terms of coup d'etat or something like that, an award, if you prevail, that will be awarded to you. And this Constitution is what has held in check dictators and all that, and what also has made me today to sit here and say speak. And I am determined to defend every part of this Constitution to the very letter. The Constitution is not the prerogative of few people or few institutions to defend. But for civilization purposes and other orderly nature, some institutions have been given the right to interpret those constitutions. And I, as a citizen, if I feel pressurized and I feel persecuted, I will not keep quiet. But what I will do is to explain to the larger public what I feel and what I am under. So let's go to point one. The idea that this money was received fraudulently is neither here nor there. The money was not received fraudulently. I complained through my lawyers of London during President Kufuor's regime. And it was served on the president and his secretary that I was not going to accept the cancellation of an already completed bid by a one-sitting cabinet meeting on me, which was first scheduled in Accra. Didn't come on, and a few days after it was scheduled in Akosombo, where 28 plus people met, and the cabinet, an item only on water bid, no other item. And this memo is there for you to read. And this is where the problem comes from. I speak today confidently on it because in the criminal case in the Court of Appeal, the appeal courts who have examined all evidence for me have been able to point out where the problem came from. And for me, it is not, I'm not an appointee of government, I'm not the AG, so it's up to them what they want to do with it. So this memo is the beginning of all. And this particular memo was why the Francis Poku-led National Security also, and BNI of them, Kufuor time, also, have met me several, and I have insisted on my right. So it is also not true that there was a change of government. I was pursuing this during President Kufuor's period. I was invited to BNI several times, and their report to the president was that I had a right before there was a change of government, and I pursued it too. So it's erroneous to say that there was a change of government. That I want it to be laid to rest. I have not said this because I must respect the courts. The cases were before the court. And evidence have been taken in this criminal case where Honorable Yasafo Mafo has spoken, and all the things that is concerning this can be taken from that record. Do I have to blame the MPP and President Kufuor? No. Why should I blame them? A president of a country is pressurized from every angle, and sometimes he takes certain decisions that may go against. And the forum is negotiation, and if it fails, court. So I'm not embittered about President Kufuor's decision. But it's up to the current government to be able to tell the people of Ghana where the problem started from and how they could have handled it. So that rests the case. I went to court. After negotiation failed, I went to court. And several things have been said about this court and everything like that. And it is by court order that I was paid. I was paid because the court ordered it to be paid. The other tranches were paid out of what we call negotiation within the court. The better term for it is within the chambers of the court. We negotiated over there in the full glaring of the court. And my lawyers were made to put the proposal or what we have agreed on it. And on that purpose, the Minister of Finance paid the rest of the money through the order of the Attorney General. So all these things at that time were fruits of a fruit of the order of a competent court of jurisdiction until the time the Supreme Court set that aside. Until. And within that period, the monies were paid. The issue about, I will come and talk about the rest of it, whether money was shared or here and there. So if the first payment also was by an undertaking by me to the court that if the government wins, I refund the money. So it's not a new thing. Judge Tanko made me to put an undertaking. The undertaking was against 17 million. But as we did the conference in court to do a settlement, it means that undertaking covers all the rest. That should government win, I am obliged to refund because of the circumstances of the case. Now, there have been reports of Yoko and all this. So I will not touch them because these are all matters pending before the courts. So I am constrained to go to certain length because as a citizen, I must respect the court. Now, since it's not fraudulently received, as have been said, and records of the court are there to prove, it therefore means that anybody using those words, fraudulent and everything, may be committing certain crimes. After all this period, I said I had forgiven everybody. And I meant it. Because I have a dossier and a big one. The reason why I did that is not because I didn't feel pain. No. Contrary. It is because I assumed that my persecutors had misinformed and taken advantage of the media to deceive innocent people in this country. So why do I go after them? Now, after the appeal on the criminal issue, there's a new page. Some came up and said that banana judges, banana republic judges, and all kind of things were said. And we have taken few of the media houses and those individuals to the Court of Appeal for contempt on that matter. I don't want to comment too much about it, but many of the same people are still, as of today, committing the same crime persistently and consistently. We will test the law to that limit. And I am serving notice, and notice is hereby said that we should be very careful as to how we. I don't say you should like me. No, I'm not saying so. But I'm saying that you should do the right thing so that nobody have the right of also taking you to court on anything. I'm not saying so. The risk of a businessman of doing business sometimes with government carries all this because public person. But if you are doing anything about it, you must do it within the law. Now, the question is, did you connive with people and share money? No, on the contrary. The criminal case gave opportunity to both sides of the political spectrum to come to court and give evidence. None, not a single one, was able to point out any conniver or anything like that. None. And where evidence have been taken and reconfirmed by the Court of Appeal, I think this must arrest. There are some innocent people who were said that I had bribed and committed it, but the courts never found out that. But those cases are also within the jurisdictions of the court, and therefore I will also not comment on those ones. But the fact is that it is inappropriate, improper, abuse of office, and trampling upon my rights as a citizen of Ghana if by a so-called Iyoko investigation you use an institutional power, go and get my private bank statements and bank records, selectively use those ones, throw it all about to say he gave money to this. It started with Obiamwa. That I gave money to Obiamwa. Yes, Obiamwa was a minister at that time. But Obiamwa was not in power when these cases happened. And therefore, I couldn't have gone to bribe Obiamwa to get which result? No. Obiamwa did a particular job for me as a lawyer, and Obiamwa got paid. Now, Obiamwa, as a person and as a friend, I've also helped him in several other ways. This I will not deny. But Obiamwa was not the one who went to court. And it is not his regime or any other thing that I could have bribed Obiamwa to attain what? The same applies to many other people. Why then will somebody, and in this case, Martin Alamisu Amidu, being the Attorney General at that time, having access to the so-called bank statement, create things about that nature and throw it to the public? I'm not saying he did it. You know, maybe people acquired it from other sources. But he has persistently and consistently mentioned this. But that's where somebody acquired, or where somebody didn't acquire my statement. I don't know. Now, there is a particular issue about these statements. Some have been exaggerated. other money and other people money, it has become a laugh issue in the social media. But you know, the very